Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Planescape Torment. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you chose to join me today as we mess with this thing, this fountain or something, that apparently, I don't know, was somehow related to that guy over there. The second time we killed Ignis, but he came back, yeah. There is a moment of dizziness as you touch the crystal. Then, a slow chill passes through your body and you discover that your muscles have locked, your hand frozen on the crystal's surface. There is a moment of silence, then sharp pain splinters through your body like fractures. You feel as if your very being has been turned to ice, then shattered. Oh boy. Oh, I'm the one in the center, because I'm the one healing. The good incarnation says, "He has awoken." The practical incarnation, oh boy, that's interesting. Because apparently are they supposed to be mutually exclusive, or is just, you know, just like representations? Finally, I thought I would die again, waiting for him to rise. Apparently there's a paranoid incarnation. Perhaps you will still die. Never forget, I watch you thieves, you killers all three of you. There's three of them? Oh, that's me as well. Have a care how you speak to me, you deranged wreck. He was fortunate to reach here with all those traps you scattered throughout the plains. I swear, if I could have crossed the years to put you out of your misery, I would... The two of you, be silent. Let us make sure he is all right and save the arguments for later. Who are you all? By the hells, he's lost his memories. Damnation. He's useless to us now. Calm yourself. He's only disoriented as were we all. Give him a moment to get his bearings. You are all thieves wearing my body, and you will give it back. I am at the limit of my patience with your howling. Be silent, or this arguing avails us nothing. Give him his space. Leave him be. Time is no longer in our favor. I will not stand here and squander another moment while our adversary is no doubt hunting for us. We waited long enough for him to awaken. I will speak to him now. That was the practical incarnation. The man before you, who is the practical incarnation, resembles you, but he carries himself more like a force than a man. His eyes are watching you carefully, and as you study him, you feel him studying you. So, it has come to this. Who are you? I will not surrender my name to you or any man. The man's voice is rough like yours. It rings strangely in your ears. As for who I am, you should be asking yourself that. You are one of my incarnations. You made it here with my clues to guide you. We are separate incarnations? How's that possible? The incarnation is silent for a moment, then his expression changes to contempt. If there's anything I have hated about you, it is your countless questions, your desperate fumbling for meaning and answers. The man's voice is like a hatchet, and anger flickers across his features. The time for questions is past. Now you will listen to me. I was the first to breach this fortress, and whatever it is that awaits us here was somehow able to defeat me. It will not best me a second time. You sound as if you intend to fight whatever it is that lurks here. The man gives you a strange look, then studies you. Of course, that's the only reason we're speaking now. I'll need you to be the shell, but your mind must be my mind. Do you understand me? You mean you intend to possess me?
Updated my journal.
Yes. He glances around at the spiked walls, then turns back to face you. We cannot leave this place in pieces. Only one may leave. How are we to become one? You must surrender your will to me. Your knowledge and skills, whatever little you've managed to accumulate in your life, may prove useful. He sizes you up again. It ultimately will be but a fraction of my power, but it might have its uses. And if I choose not to surrender my will to you? You have no choice in the matter. You do not know how to escape this place. I do. If you refuse to surrender with me, I will refuse to surrender to you, and neither of us will ever be able to leave this place. Only one may leave, and it will not be you. Oh, wait a minute. So, he's the practical incarnation, and he actually, well, he's an idiot. for starters. He might be very powerful, I'm not doubting that, but he willingly put in my head the notion that I can make him surrender to me. I don't know what kind of incarnation he thinks I am, but yeah. Let's convince him. He's the practical one. Let's see what I can do here. So, the first and second answers are probably not good. Let's see. Yet you came here previously and were defeated. Okay, so that's an appeal to reason. Sounds good to me. I mean, if he's practical, doesn't mean he's going to be reasonable, but sometimes those two are confused together. If only because people who think that they are reasonable are often pragmatical above all things. But still, if you're one of my incarnations, then I've got questions for you. That's maybe a good thing. But he doesn't like my questions, so let's not do that. Let's try and ingratiate ourselves to him, if only so that he respects us. So let's go with this one. So yeah, he was defeated. The man frowns. I was taken unawares. Sure. And I did not anticipate that my companions would be split from me upon my arrival. What happened after that is confusing. So, even if I were to surrender to you, then we could still fail. Unlikely. I'm the only one who possesses the knowledge necessary to succeed. This moment is the culmination of centuries of planning. Many have suffered and died for us to be here. Their sacrifices must not be in vain. The last sentence unnerves you. It is delivered like a speech, and there's no passion behind the words. Okay, so it's my intuition, I suppose, warning me against this. Okay. And why should I let you possess me? You have no choice. Okay, so he goes back to that. So I think this is... This might be a loop. If you're one of my incarnations, then I've got questions for you. Let's go with that. I will indulge you, but only for a while longer. So you are the one who saved Dakon and Tracklor, and the one who led Dianara to her death. Oh. That's why that was... Yeah. He's an idiot. He's a jerk. He's apparently very smart, but he's not very good at pretending. He doesn't act very well. True manipulators will act really, really well, and they will work on that above all things, because that's what you need to do. It doesn't matter what you say, as long as you act as if you're convinced of what you're saying, even if your argument is false, then you'll probably convince more people than if you act poorly and your argument is more accurate, I guess, or more convincing. It's usually about the acting. That's what true manipulators do. And I say that as somebody that unfortunately has to deal with a couple of people that are amateurs at that, but that think themselves good at that, and I just don't have time for this sort of people, to be honest. Let's go with that. Let's just try to confront him. The man's eyes narrow. What of it? All of it was done with a purpose. Was it? You gave Dakon the Unbroken Circle of Zerthimon. Why? The Unbroken Circle? That collection of lies? Yes, it was a week's work to forge such a thing. It was necessary to make it so he would cease doubting himself. You made it, but you told them. Perhaps they carry some truth, I know not. I know that they were tedious writings, but the words were enough to give him faith. Why? Your ignorance astounds me. The man looks incredulous. Can it be that you do not know what he carries in his hand? That blade he carries is shaped by his thoughts. Such a tool, when used properly, could slay the multiverse itself. The man looks lost in thought, then his face sneers in disgust. Though obviously the gift became separated when we arrived in the fortress, and I was unable to make use of his blade. Unfortunate. Okay. There's a lot more lines now. Oh, there's a lot more lines now. Oh, lovely. 80. I think I've seen a screenshot of this particular thing, and yes, 18. I think there were 17 options rather than 18. So I think I have unlocked something else other than that screenshot. Let's see. Let's go. Let's see. I think this just goes. This might be a loop back. You are the one. Yeah, you are the one who led Dayanara to her death. The man's eyes narrow. What of it? Yeah. Okay. So that goes back. What was the purpose of saving Dakon, a Tracklore? Okay, so he goes back to the blade thing that he claims to be of utmost importance. You saved Dakon because of his blade. Why? Okay, so he goes back to that as well. Okay. It's a little bit of a cryptic dialogue trees, to be honest, but I will unravel all the things. Why did Dayanara have to die? Dayanara? That girl had little sense of the planes in her, and that was what I needed her for. You see, the Dustmen have it right. Sometimes when you feel too much passion, you cling too tightly to life and to let go, and neither did Dayanara, as I hoped she would. That woman! That ghost! The hunched man's eyes well up in fury, and spittle flies from his mouth. She tormented me for years, pursuing me, hating me, and you were the one that killed her! The incarnation barely even glances at the howling one and merely sneers at the practical one. You blaming me for anything is laughable, and he turns back to you. It wasn't out of malice, though she did become tiresome. It's just that when I arrived in the fortress, I didn't intend to stay. I just wanted to get in, sacrifice her, then get out. The third incarnation, the good one, speaks softly, but he sounds pained. Why did you do such a terrible thing? I needed someone to be my eyes here on the negative material plane, to serve as a scout and try to find out who my killer was. Only the dead can survive here for long, so Dayanara had to be sacrificed so that she could become something other than she was. A tricky business, but it worked. She helped you, didn't she? Actually she didn't. Did she? I don't think she did. Well, let's see what apparently she did. You didn't have to kill her. He looks at you silently for a moment, then his sneer returns. And that is why you will be defeated if you confront our killer. It is because you are weak, and you do not see that some things are necessary. Well, I see a huge line of dialogue over here, so I'm gonna go with that. You dare call me weak? You orchestrated all these grand plans for defeating this invisible enemy, and you got your ass handed to you anyway, and some poor girl was murdered because of it. Maybe if you'd done your job for the first time you were here, this wouldn't even be a problem. Do you dare lecture me? Women have always walked our path with us, whether Dayanara or Ravel or any other woman, and they have suffered, and it was always their choice. Dayanara would have died for me if I'd asked her to. There was no crime. Actually, I will remind you that, you dear viewer, that there was actually quite clearly emotional manipulation and misleading. And she really didn't have a choice. This was all his choice at all, especially because she was willing. So when he says she made a choice, he's actually incriminating himself because she was willing, and he used that to his advantage. So if she wasn't willing, then yeah, it still would have been his choice, but at least you could kind of argue, which is wrongfully argued a lot of the times, you could kind of argue that she saw the other side and she kind of traded away her life for something that she saw. I mean, because if you're trying to convince somebody to give up something for you, and if they're just absolutely willing to give you what they're trying to give up, then you don't need to present anything. You don't need to tell them, oh, you just bear in mind you're gonna die in all this. You're still gonna give me your soul or whatever he wanted. Just be my eyes or whatever. But you're gonna die, and because you don't need to do that, you just say, okay, come with me. So there's no choice there, because choice, after all, choice is only exists. Choice only exists when you actually have knowledge of things. And of course, that's why true choice. Well, let's not get into that because that's a different matter. But the fact that she was willing incriminates him. In my mind, anyway. I won't discuss it with you any longer. There are other things I would know. So, let's go with that. You are the one who led Dayanara. Okay, so I can basically, I identify him, and then I can ask about his let's go with the same ones, because I am role-playing after all. Okay, so yeah, let's just basically... So that basically, I identify him, and then I can confront him about why he did the things he did, which are these lines. Okay, so these are actually two... This might actually be a bug, for all I know, but these are actually two dialogue trees in the same place. Are you the one who taught Ignis the art? Ignis! The man stares at you, then frowns. Is that a name? Who in the hell are you talking about? You have answered my questions. There are other things I would know. He's not the one. I wonder who it... Probably the paranoid, to be honest, but, I mean... this guy probably is neutral, and this guy's good, and this guy's evil, so I would say... Interesting that the paranoid is evil. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to talk to him, though, but let's see. You built that tomb... No, he didn't. You built that tomb beneath Sigil, didn't you? The one with the traps? Oh, I'd almost forgotten. Yes, what a waste that was. Oh, was he the one that built it? Yeah, because that ended up with somebody else dying, I remember. Yeah, the incarnation seems irritated. Obviously, that didn't work, and it cost a lot of blood and coin. Worthless. The second incarnation breaks into uneven laughter, but it's more gleeful than mad. It was easy to breach that child's trap. I found it, and changed it, and made it harder. Changed the writings. The first incarnation frowns at the second. He looks like he's barely restraining himself from attacking the other. Yet another thing you will answer for. He turns back to you. Though I suppose it doesn't matter. It was shortly after the failure of the tomb trap that I decided to carry the battle to our killer rather than to wait for him to show any longer. Yeah, I suppose. Oh, so they were trying to... This imaginary... Oh no, it's not imaginary. It's the transcendent one that they're attacking. Okay. So, let's see. Were you the one who pried Mort off the pillar of... Off? Is it off? Like, with two F's first and then the second one? I mean, you can omit the off after that, but I suppose. Were you the one who pried Mort off the Pillar of Skulls? Is Mort still alive? The incarnation stares for a moment in disbelief, then starts laughing. That Viking skull couldn't be trusted farther than I could throw him, claiming he had information when he didn't. Then I had to go through the torment of prying him off the Pillar of Skulls, and then he feigned ignorance once he was off of it. I humored him, since he'd told me everything I needed from him. Feigned ignorance. Oh yeah, the man smiles. Once a liar, always a liar. It takes a stronger mind than the skulls to give me the laugh, though. What was his game? What more did he have to lie about? The incarnation smirks. It is of no matter. Let the skull have his secrets. They are worthless to us. His deflection of my question probably means that Mort is actually telling the truth. I trust Mort. My character trusts Mort. Yeah. Let's see what else. So, who are these others? Other incarnations, reflections of ourselves. I will have them merge with me after I deal with you. He glances at... Oh, are we gonna have to fight? Come on. He glances at the hunched incarnation who was howling when you first arrived. Or kill them if they refuse. It is of no matter. They are not necessary. I see. So... how do I escape this place? You must surrender your will to me. Your knowledge and skills, whatever little you've managed to accumulate. Oh, yeah, okay. So, that goes back to that. So, I can bluff him into... Okay, I can... Let's see what this one is, because I was looking at that. Do you still intend to fight whatever it is that lurks here? Oh, yeah. He glances around at the spiked walls and turns back to face you. We cannot leave this place in pieces. Only one may leave. Okay, so... that goes back to this one. We can tell the truth or bluff. We can say outright that we will not merge with him. Were you responsible for the tattoos on my back? The ones that I read when I woke up in the mortuary. The directions? He nods, irritated. Of course I was responsible. I knew there was a chance I might fail here and lose my memories. I wanted future incarnations to benefit from some guidance. So I had the directions stitched on my back, since such things like journals tend to be lost so easily. Yeah, I mean, why did you put that warning about Mort on the back? Oh, he goes back to that. So I'm gonna ask a little bit more about that. That looks pretty interesting. The directions were kind of vague, though. Are you a fool? The incarnation looks exasperated. The directions needed to be vague. I couldn't spell out exactly what was happening to us, so I left a signpost. What do you think would have happened if a dustman had read them? Or someone even more balmy? How quickly do you think we would have been buried alive or cremated? Very well. What about me asking or seeking out Farod, though? Why him? Farod? The incarnation thinks for a moment. Oh yeah, the Trash King with all the tough bloods and that thought I was easy prey. After only a little bloodletting, I struck a bargain with him. He would see to it that if his men found me, they would take me safely to the mortuary, and of course I needed the eyes and hands of his men to scour the catacombs beneath sigil. For me? What for? A sphere. Made of bronze. Ugly. Feels like an egg to the touch, and it smells of rotten custard, right? Yeah, I told Farod it was the only thing that would save his miserable life. What a sniveling little dodger he was. The incarnation smiles at you. You see, the old bastard was was destined to end up on the Pillar of Skulls when he died. And he was desperately trying to weasel out of it. So I told him that there was an item beneath sigil that would save him from his fate, if he could only find it. But it wouldn't save him. It was just something you wanted him to find. Of course it was useless to him. One cannot dodge fate so easily. He looks at you irritated. However, nothing motivates a man faster than telling him that what he seeks will save his soul from eternal damnation. I intended to take it from him after he found it. It's just that searching for it myself would have taken too long. And why should I do it? And when I could have someone else hunt for me? Well, he ended up tricking me into finding it for him. Why was it so important? Important? Do you not know? The incarnation becomes silent for a moment. Do you have it with you? No. It died with Farod. Out of curiosity, what did it do? Oh, it was a dead sensory stone. The incarnation is staring through you as if seeing something far away. Do you know what it contained? He smiles ruefully. It held the last experiences of the first of us, when we were one man and not a string of incarnations. His voice drops. If there had been some way of unlocking it, I would have been able to see inside his mind. And see why this all happened? Yeah, the incarnation face becomes somber. It is the answer I have always sought. Why this happened, why we became immortal. And I fear we shall never know. The third incarnation interrupts. Perhaps there are no answers in such a thing. Perhaps there never was. I don't deal in the realms of perhaps and maybe. The first incarnation sneers. I seek answers. If it was what has allowed us to get this far. And it looks at the third incarnation with contempt. If we had left life in your hands, we wouldn't even have a fraction of the truth we now possess. And in that truth lies power. He turns to you. You will realize that when we merge. I brought the sphere with me, you know. You have it? The incarnation's eyes flare. Then your life has had some use after all. You watch his eyes flicker as if thinking, calculating. When we merge, I will see about finding a means to unlock it. Perhaps all is not lost. Yeah. I'm gonna need to find that out myself. Or maybe I'm gonna be able to get his memories somehow. So... Okay. Okay. I have nothing more to say for the moment. We'll speak again later. Okay, so I can save the game, which is fantastic, because if he has to fight me, let's have a chat with the paranoid. The incarnation affixes you with a stony gaze as you approach. He looks like he is sizing you up for weaknesses. Who are you? The incarnation is silent for a moment, then his expression changes to contempt. If there is anything I have hated about you, it is your countless... Wait a minute. I'm still... Oh. I talked to the Wait a minute. What? No. That's the practical one. Let's load. The paranoid one, yeah. The man before you resembles you, but his back is hunched, as if he is perpetually afraid of being struck. He is watching you warily, and he hisses as you approach, his hand clenching, as if wanting to strangle you. His arms are horribly gnarled and scarred, as if they had been dunked into a stream of acid, and his left arm looks like it is holding on by a thread. Literally. I think this is the guy that taught Ignis. Who are you? Know that you will not last long in this place, thief! Spittle flies from the man's mouth, and his face twists in a maddening grin. Mazes and regrets and death are all that are here. You are wasting your time speaking to that one. Oh, wait, that's a practical one. You are wasting your time speaking to that one. His thoughts are all angles and spite and nothing more. Stop wasting time. There's much to the two of us must speak of. Thief! The incarnation's hands twist as if strangling the other. I will feel the bones of your neck snap beneath my fingers. Take my body back. He turns to you. Thief, you wear my body like a cloak and you shame me. Yeah, I am no thief. I stole nothing from you. You stole everything. I walk on the streets on the Ring City, and all who saw me knew me. He takes a rasping breath. All that you had done, all that you had harmed, they were waiting for me, blaming me, hurting me until I couldn't take the voices anymore. His fingers grasp at the air and had to make them silent. You were the one who killed the linguist Finn, weren't you? Then wrote the dodecahedron journal in the language of the Huyo. He fixes you with a wary eye. It seems just looking at you is making him uncomfortable. And we have a bunch of questions. Well, let's ask them next episode because we're out of time for right now. So I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Planescape Torment. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye!